Now let's look at Surrealism. By now there are actually quite a lot of different art movements happening, and between 1910 and 1940, the art world sees a lot of change in style and subject matter. Cubism and all its iterations like Futurism and Orphism, Lyrical Expressionism, Bauhaus, Russian Constructivism, and Distill are all art movements that came and went at this time, some for short periods of time and others for longer. When it comes to Surrealism, we want to stop and look at Dada first. So there is this guy called Andre Breton. He is a writer, and like the Expressionists, he is angry at the madness of World War I. Dada is a short-lived art movement that left a big mark on the art world. We could stay here and talk about Dada for hours, but in short, here are a few summary points. 1. They broke all the rules. If you think the realists and the expressionists were rule breakers, think again. Even the name Dada is silly and pokes fun at art. 2. They invented new styles of art. Dada artists were the first to experiment with collage and photo montage, for example. And 3. They aimed to shock, which unfortunately loses its effect after a while. When everyone expects you to be shocking, it starts to not be that shocking. Andre Breton hung out with the Dada artists until World War I, when everything kind of came to a bit of a crashing halt. Still not satisfied, when the war was over, he began to explore new ideas and work with new artists. Thus, the Surrealist art movement began. Surrealism, or superreal, as I like to put it, is something that seems real but is a bit strange or unusual. For the Surrealist artist, this involved looking at dreams and exploring a reality that is beyond real or surreal. We have all had those weird dreams where things get mixed up, transform, or seem to defy reality. We are asleep, unconscious, but strange ideas come to the surface. This painting by Salvador Dali is called Sleep and suggests the world of dreams where his imagination hangs out. Further still, it is painted as a smooth, realistic composition, making it all the more unsettling. The idea of the unconscious was developed by a guy called Freud. The conscious part of our brain is one thing, but it's the unconscious part we need to watch out for. Freud believed it controlled our fears and desires. This painting is called Dream Caused by the Flight of a Bee Around a Pomegranate a Second Before Waking. Whew. It shows Salvador Dali's wife's dream, which was prompted by a buzzing bee. From an exploding pomegranate shoots out a fish from which two ferocious tigers leap and merge together, and in a second wake up Gala, his wife, from her sleep. It's insane, but you stirs up emotions of anxiety and fear or surprise or shock from waking up like that. Hidden meanings or secret messages happen in all of Dali's paintings. In this painting called The Persistence of Memory, we can see ants swarming on the stopwatch. The ants symbolize decay and the passing of time, and this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of meanings that can be seen in surrealist paintings. When World War II came, the surrealist art movement came to an end, but not without leaving its lasting impact on art for years to come. We now pause for a moment for a special note for painters. So far, I've only shown you Salvador Dali as a surrealist painter. There are many more surrealist painters you can look at by checking out the list provided to you or by doing a Google search. You can choose for your research and task 2 a surrealist painter from the 1930s movement, but there are other painters from more recent periods in art who work in the surrealist style you can choose from as well, some of which I've seen here. Starting on the left, New Zealand artist Brent Wong, who paints landscapes with a broken slip or edge and large looming Lego-type structures hanging in the sky. Underneath is New Zealand artist Bill Hammond with his fantasy paintings of New Zealand native birds. In the middle is New Zealand artist Seraphine Pick. She paints dream-like fantasies with a female focus. And finally, on the right, is Frida Kahlo.